great players, they have a great organization, and you tell them one thing,
What is good, Raider Nation? Your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video. Anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, let's jump right into it. According to NFL insiders, specifically a Carolina Panthers insider, Elliss Williamson, he has reported that the Carolina Panthers are expected to have interest in Raiders quarterback Derek Carr. Williamson believes that the Panthers could potentially be a good fit for the 9-year veteran quarterback who would be given an opportunity to grow with a head coach and who would be given job security from Carolina Panthers owner Dave Tepper. Now, Carolina, they have a good defense, good O-line, decent weapons on offense. So depending on who they plan to bring in as the head coach, this may be a team that Derek Carr would be interested in joining. Now, from the Panthers standpoint, especially like as a fan base from the Panthers, I'm not sure how excited they would be to bring in Derek Carr. It seems like they have already tried the whole veteran quarterback route with Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. Now, I think Carr is still better than most of those guys I just mentioned, but at the same time, he's really not a quarterback who will immediately be a game changer and move the needle for the franchise, especially in the first year and yet another system and playbook for Derek Carr to learn. I feel like they'd probably be better served just to get their guy in the draft and rebuild that way. And just to briefly touch on what I think would be like at least the most attractive destinations for Derek Carr in terms of teams, I think it would personally be more like the New Orleans Saints and the New York Jets. The Jets definitely have a better overall roster and are in desperate need of a competent quarterback. My only real concern for me about this move would be Derek Carr's cold weather history, especially towards November, December, January on the East Coast. You're going to have to be able to win those cold, gritty games in order for the Jets to be able to make any type of run. And the New York media will absolutely crucify Derek Carr if he continues to underperform in these types of environments. Now, the Saints, on the other hand, are a dome stadium team. They have talented players on offense, young talented players. Also, they got a lot of talented players on the defensive side of the football. And he would be united with head coach Dennis Allen, who he briefly played under in his rookie year after Dennis Allen was fired in 2014 after 4 games. But really, that's just my opinion on what spots I think would be the most ideal landing spot for Derek Carr if he continues to play in the NFL, because in the past he has stated that he would retire if he could not play with the Raiders. Personally, I never really bought into that statement when he said it, and I fully expect him to continue to play in the National Football League. But this video wasn't really made to really focus too much on Derek Carr and potential landing spots for Derek Carr. I really wanted to talk about from the Raiders standpoint, would it be best at this point to trade Derek Carr or just cut ties with him and release him? Now, obviously the most ideal situation for any player that isn't in your future plans is to receive draft compensation, but in this specific scenario with Derek Carr, it's not as easy as you would expect, and the Raiders could potentially put themselves in harm's way by trading him if the trade was to fall through at the end. The biggest obstacle with trading Derek Carr is that the Raiders need to make a decision regarding Derek Carr prior to February 15th, whether that is to release him or trade him. Because if the Raiders decide to trade Derek Carr, the trade will not be official. It will not get finalized until the new league year for the 2023 NFL season, which is March 15th. So essentially, if the Raiders decide to trade Derek Carr, it would be a verbal agreement, essentially a handshake. And from what I have read, if at the last minute the trade partner ends up backing out of the deal, then the Raiders will be obligated to pay Derek Carr's guaranteed contract for next season. If this happened to the Raiders, it would be quite ironic since coach Josh McDaniels previously backed out of coaching the Indianapolis Colts at the last minute, and essentially he screwed over the Colts franchise. And if this happened to us, this would completely screw the Raiders over in our entire offseason. So if this truly is the case, that is just too big of a risk for me to take. I would rather just cut Derek Carr, free up cap space, and begin to rebuild this team. Now, I have not seen anything that would indicate whether or not our general manager Dave Ziegler could negotiate and implement a type of clause that would protect the Raiders in this type of scenario. So at the moment, I don't really know if that's a real possibility, because if this were the case, then trading Derek Carr would be the most ideal scenario. But until we get more information on that possibility, I have to stand by the fact that I think it'd be too big of a risk to trade Derek Carr. At this point, I would just think it'd be best just to straight up release him. Also, from Derek Carr's standpoint, I'm really not sure what he would prefer as a player. Would he just prefer to be cut or traded? I would assume he would just prefer to get released, as he can choose whatever team he wants to join. But also, the downside of Carr not getting traded would be that he would have to renegotiate his contract once again in the open market, and I don't think he will make $40 million per year, which was what he was set to make with the Raiders. So if he got traded, whatever team traded for Derek Carr would essentially pick up that contract moving forward. Also, I don't really know what Derek Carr's trade value realistically is at this moment. I feel like a lot of people are overestimating how much we can get for Derek Carr in a trade package. We know that last year there were several reports that indicated that the Colts were prepared to give up 2 first-round picks prior to them signing quarterback Matt Ryan, which in hindsight the Raiders should have definitely accepted that trade offer. But I can also understand why this new regime kept Carr around. They wanted to have a veteran quarterback in their first year, and I really felt like they wanted to see what Carr had and whether or not he would be a good fit for this offense. They essentially gave him a 1-year tryout. It didn't work out. It is what it is. The ship has sailed with Derek Carr. But when it comes to Derek Carr and his trade value, I feel like the reality is that Derek Carr is coming off of one of his worst seasons statistically in his whole career. He is set to make about $40 million in the near future, and the Raiders have also shown their cards to the whole league that they are not interested in keeping Derek Carr around. So I really feel like the Raiders don't have much leverage at all to be able to trade Derek Carr for a high draft pick like we could have got for him last year. All I can say is if general manager Dave Tepper can somehow get a 2nd-round pick for Derek Carr, then he would be an absolute genius. I would be quite surprised by that. But at the end of the day, it's a very tricky situation when it comes to Derek Carr. If we can try to trade him, we would just have to see if any more details come out about whether or not the Raiders could be protected when it comes to Derek Carr's contract if a team backs out at the last minute. If you know anything about this, let me know in the comment section down below. But those are my thoughts and opinions on this whole Derek Carr trade situation. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think will happen to Derek Carr. With that being said, Raider Nation, that's all I have you guys in today's video. Anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.